Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Audi SQ5. This model has the Premium Plus package along with several other options, bringing the MSRP up to $75,000. This model is also finished off in Grenadine Red Metallic. Now under the hood, this is powered by the 3-liter turbocharged V6. It's paired to the 7-speed automatic, pumps out 362 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. It's all-wheel drive, weighs in around 4,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 17.2 gallons. You'll expect to see 19 miles per gallon in the city and 26 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 111 inches. Its overall length is 185.7. It has a width of 74.8, a height of 65.7, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.2 inches. Now, as we move on to the exterior styling for this latest SQ5, you'll notice up front, this is the newest design for the Audi badge. This model also has a forward camera, there's parking sensors too, and plenty of cutouts with all the gloss black trim accents as well to provide a lot of cooling to the engine. Now there's also a sensor in the lower section of the grille where there's even more cutouts. That sensor is for the distance pacing. There's also an additional sensor on the passenger side there. More gloss black trim accents, parking sensors and the vents there, and then a thin housing for the LEDs. They have a really nice intricate design along with the smooth lines that come down the hood. Now this model also has the optional 21-inch wheels with the two-tone design. You'll notice the red S-line brake calipers. There's also body-colored fender flares. You'll notice some gloss black accents in the lower section of the door where there's really nice body work and lines surrounding that. This also has power folding side mirrors with a camera and a turn signal. There's more gloss black for the window trim. You'll notice Audi and SQ5 at the base of those pillars there. There's roof racks too, and then a full moonroof as well. And as we take a step back, very nice lines flowing down the side, just giving it a clean look overall. Now in back, there's also the spoiler with the third brake light. You'll notice the wiper blade, that newest Audi badge, LEDs for all of the lighting, again with a thin housing, especially for the strip that goes through the power liftgate. Now there's also the backup camera, parking sensors, quad tip dual exhaust, where this also has the upgraded exhaust tips, and this is capable of towing around 4,400 pounds, which is pretty impressive for this smaller vehicle. So it is a very usable vehicle if you don't have some heavy cargo items. Now you can use the control in the key fob or the release underneath to gain access to the cargo space, where again, this has a good bit of space for its smaller size. Now under the floor, you have a lot more hidden space along with that tire inflator kit. You'll notice there's some storage pockets along with 12 volts. There's also the adaptive suspension. So with these controls here, you can raise and lower the rear end of the vehicle. Not only is that going to be beneficial when you're loading items, so it is lower, but if you have a trailer on back, it is going to auto level, which is a huge plus when you have a trailer on the back. There's also this strap here, you can place some items, and you can also fold the back seats down from here. You do have to have the front seats moved accordingly, of course, but in a pinch, you can easily do that from here. And there's the cover that you can adjust as needed. And then up top, you can either close the liftgate or lock the vehicle as well. Now, if you do lock it, this does have proximity door handles along with a very big spider there. So you can use the door handles as needed to lock and unlock it. There's also the manual sunshades for this model. You'll notice all of the Alcantara along with some brushed accents. There's Bang & Olufsen for the audio, and then storage and another speaker in the lower section. And then we can lock these seats in that down position there. And again, that gives you a large opening. You have a nice flat surface to put in items. You can release the seat, lock it back upwards, and then they also recline too. Now this model also has the Napa leather seats with a nice design running down the insert. Now at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's some storage pockets. You get auxiliaries, vents, temperature adjustments as well, and the seats do move forwards and backwards. So there's a bar underneath depending on the legroom or the cargo space that you need. And at 5'10", I have about an inch and a half or so of headroom. I can recline it just slightly, so not much of a difference in headroom, but it's going to make you more comfortable for longer drives in this smaller vehicle. Now there's also the armrest with cup holders there. And then you have the additional cargo windows there to give you a lot more visibility around that pillar. Now up front, you'll notice there's a lot of controls on the door panel. So there's the headlight adjustments, lock and unlock, side mirror adjustments, memory seating controls, child lockouts, all of the window controls, the liftgate release, and then all of the same materials that you saw in back. Now, quick look at the window sticker, black optics package, premium plus like I mentioned, tech package, warm weather package, the trailer hitch, and then a few other options there to make this nicely spec'd. Now, this model also has massaging seats, so those controls are on the side. There's the rest of the adjustments there and the S logo at the top of the seat there. Now, it's a low vehicle, so it's very easy to enter, where we are greeted with the flat top and bottom design for the leather and perforated leather steering wheel. But let's start this up now, take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, to go through this information in great detail, you use controls on the left side of the steering wheel. So you have left and right, basically a rotary dial, view, okay, and a head-up display adjustment. So if I just start pushing on the left control, that's how we can scroll through that info. You'll see mainly on the left side, you can scroll through it, and then you can go up and down. If I push on the right control, we'll go back to the right there. I can also push on view. And that is basically going to adjust your background screen depending on what you'd like to see. So there's the lane keeping assist, you can pull up the navigation, and then back to the dual screen setup. I can also push on the head-up display control and go through a minimal display, look at media player. There's also the map with driver assistance. And then under the minimal display, you can scroll down, look at the inclometer. So you have your degrees, your pitch and roll there. You can also look at music, miles per hour, of course, and the speed limit sign. Now, this also has paddle shifters on both sides. And then on the right, there's the heated steering wheel. There's also volume, tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands, and then a favorites button as well. So you can push on the favorites button and pull up what you would like to see within this infotainment system. So you can scroll through all of that as needed. On the left side, there's also the cruise control stock, and then this does have an automatic adjustment for the steering wheel. Now, also on the left side, there's a little bit of storage. Really unique pattern for the trim accents. There's one air vent with the adjustments there. And then working our way back to the infotainment system, it is mainly touch screen. So you have the home icon where you can swipe through this information here, just depending on how you'd like to view it. You can pull up the map and nav here in full screen, get into some audio adjustments, your phone when that is paired, and then you can also look at a lot of settings here. Those are for the steering wheel there, your favorites, but you can also go through the rest of these. So you have the various driving modes, which will also adjust the suspension height automatically, or of course you can do it yourself. You can get into displays, so you have everything to monitor with the brightness. You have all of the lighting, even your massaging seats. You can use that control that I showed on the side of the seat, or you can gain access to it through the screen here. You have different services, and then more was looking at more of this information here, including your air suspension for a trailer. You have a lot here that you can scroll through. And then the lower squares here get you into all of the icons like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have your driver assistance, valet mode, even the dash cam, which is hidden up here. You have an SD card slot on the back, so you can use that as needed. Now, still within the screen, you can get into the heated and ventilated seats. There's temperature adjustments, menu for the climates, and it's also worth noting you can get into the rear climates as well, which is nice to see. You also have some defrosters too. So there's more of that trim accent along with air vents underneath that, and then volume, traction control, hazards, the engine start stop. You do have a shortcut to the different driving modes, and then there's wireless charging and auxiliaries down below. There's two cup holders. This is how you put it into reverse. So you have the 360 camera system along with the top-down views, and you can also pull this up in full screen. If I go into drive, now we have the forward angle in full screen, and then we can go back into the top-down views on that left side. Park is going to be in front of that, and then there's a shortcut to the camera system with the parking sensors, and you can also get into all of this standard safety information. So you can turn all of this on or off depending on how you want the vehicle to react. So super easy to get through all of that information. You'll notice too, more ambient lighting on this brushed trim accent. There's storage in the armrest, and then on the glove box, not only do you have the locking glove box with plenty of storage, but this model also has the passenger screen. So it's going to be very similar to the infotainment system in terms of the operations that you can get into, looking at all of these icons here as well. You can also pair some headphones to it, get everything connected for that, and then shut it off as needed. So that is an option. You do not have to get the passenger screen. Up top, there's also garage door buttons, and then dome lights and adjustments for both the sunroof and sunshade. And then here's a look at visibility. It's a small vehicle, but it is super easy to see over both shoulders. So setting off behind the wheel now for the Audi SQ5, I have been able to check out this latest platform. However, for 2026, what I want to touch base on and highlight is the fact that the adaptive suspension is new for this lineup. So even though this was redesigned for the 2025 year model, 2026 has added adaptive suspension across the entire trim lineup, which I think is a really neat feature to see, especially on a vehicle not only of this price point, but a luxury vehicle like this. You want something that is going to be very comfortable, and having that option for those that want it, I think is really cool to see, because it's normally something that you see on the larger SUVs. It doesn't really trickle down into a smaller or more of a crossover or compact SUV. So for the SQ5 here, really neat to see that, because it is going to give you a lot of great benefits. Not only will it stiffen up when you put it into dynamic mode, it will lower the vehicle. It will also lower the vehicle at highway speeds too, to help with better aerodynamics. But earlier, like I talked about, especially with towing, you may not be buying this to tow, but if you have some smaller trailers and you still need a usable SUV, you even have those added benefits of being able to hook up to a trailer and have a level driving vehicle. So I think it's a really cool option, and especially on a bumpy road like this, even in dynamic mode, it's going to make it a very smooth ride. Now, with this being the SQ model, we can put into the sports setting now. It has a really good sounding exhaust to it. So here's a small acceleration. Sounds really good. There's a couple pops and crackles there, and the paddles are going to be very responsive too. So this has a lot more potential than what I'm doing today, but it's going to be a very sporty and a luxury focused vehicle. While it's not an RSQ model, which is not available for this, but some of the other Audis, of course, that they have the RS models, this is still going to give you some of those performance characteristics and the fun factor. So if you're not looking for one of those models, which of course are going to be much larger, you can still have some sporty fun in your luxury SUV. Now, as far as the driver's seat here goes, at 5'10", I have more space than in back, of course, maybe about 2 inches or so, and this is a height adjustable seat. So I can go down a good bit. You can be a little taller than me. I've got about 4 inches or so there of headroom. So for its smaller size, it is going to be a little bit crammed. And still in dynamic, second gear, here we go. And as we come around this turn in the dynamic mode, it handles very well. This is not a vehicle that you're really going to be cornering necessarily with hard, but on a back road like this, just going at normal speeds, it's definitely something that you can take on some back roads. You can go on some long trips, go through some mountain roads, and have a confident drive behind the wheel. So this is what it's like to be in the latest SQ5. I think it's a really nice layout. There's a lot of great tech. Passenger screen from previous videos has been hit or miss with a lot of people. You don't have to get that passenger screen if it's not something that you want. You do, however, have a large gloss black trim accent if you don't have the screen. So with those two options, I probably would opt for the screen. I'm not a huge fan of having even more tech there, but it is cool to see that with the curve of the screen, your passenger can go through some things. If you're on a long trip, they can listen to music, they can pair their headphones and have separated infotainment from your driver here. So I see those benefits, especially if you're going on some long drives. But regardless of that, I think all the tech is nice. There's very nice materials, as you would expect for the pricing, and everything is laid out well. While there's really no physical buttons, you do get volume, you have the voice commands, which is going to help too. But with everything in the screen, I think it is laid out very nicely and very user-friendly. And as you would expect, very comfortable with that suspension again, but it's also very insulated too. So there won't be a lot of road noise or wind noise, and you just get your luxury ride in the SQ5. Now again, it's on the smaller size, so while it's expensive for being this small, not everybody needs a larger vehicle. So something of this size would have been great for me and my wife, but we needed to tow more than 4,400 pounds. So we went with a larger SUV. If I didn't have to tow, something like this would be a little bit more daily driver friendly, a little bit more usable, I would say. But again, just depends on your needs and what you're doing for the day or for your ownership with the vehicle. But that's going to wrap it up for the 2026 Audi SQ5. Once again, huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.